Hello everyone, Wanda here. Happy Wednesday, November 17th. How is everyone? I hope you're all doing fantastic. Oh, hang on, I gotta wipe the screen here. That was terrible, sorry. I splashed it earlier. So, hello. Wow, welcome everyone. Let's see who I got. Yay, Deborah. Hi, Deborah, Julie, Lori, and Christy, and Deanie, Heather, Marie, Susan, Elaine, Cindy. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. Thank you so much. Sandra, Deb. All right, so tonight we're going to keep it easy. Let me zoom out here so you can see. I know you're looking at it going, what? That's not easy. But it really is actually. And I'm going to show you how to use the new watercolors to do it. So these are the ones I'm going to be adding to my shop on Friday. This is the neon set, handmade by moi, yours truly. And then this is the unicorn shimmer set that this one's not gonna be ready. They'll both be ready very, very, very soon. Friday they'll be on sale, and then they'll be shipping on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if you guys will get in there and get your orders, there's only going to be 20 of each. So I'll let you guys fight over that. But I didn't want to make like 800 and then, you know, I didn't know if you guys would like them or not. So anyways, that's that. I'm going to show you guys how to use those to do this. And so this looks harder than it is. I did a mock-up of the background earlier. It's not identical, of course, but this is the neon version of the rainbow version here. And this is just the background. So when you apply the tree on top of your background, it makes the whole thing. It sets it off. So let's talk about the tree. The tree can be sketched by hand. It's just a silhouette. We don't, you know, there's not any leaves going on per se. And then the landscape is just black tundra, you know, no grass, no nothing. So that's really easy. The sun is a big yellow circle. So this is pretty simple. I have some examples. I think I want to do this one. I've done this before, but I just love the way it looks on backgrounds like this. It's really, really awesome on abstract. Hang on. So I'm starting from scratch here so you guys could follow me. Obviously you don't have my neon set, but if you have any kind of bright, vivid colors, rainbows, neons, whatever your heart desires, grab those and paint with me. So I was thinking like that for mine. I'm not going to do it on this, but I'm going to do it on this one. Or this one is very similar to the one there. I know you're thinking, why can't you just sketch it? Because I don't sketch. You guys know that. I trace everything. So this is obviously a hard thing to trace. So you don't trace the whole thing. You just trace the meat of it. And then the rest of it, you just kind of fake it till you make it, right? Hi, Lori and Bambi. So this will probably be the one I go with because it's so similar to that, and I think it will look beautiful. But I do like the other one. Okay, so with that said, what we're going to do is we're going to get our rock completely wet. Hi, Terry and Allison. So with watercolors, you can do wet on wet or dry. I like to do wet on wet because it pulls the color and you can work with it longer. I mean, I work the other way too. When you work dry on dry, then it's, you know, more vivid and straight lines, and you can control it better. So I'm just taking this is, I believe, a number, well, it's a 5/8 round, and just getting my rock wet. And this is a Santorini provided by Shelly. Thank you. From Santorini's by Shelly. She has an album here on our group with her information in there. So if you're interested in getting your Santorinis, check her out. She's got some beautiful rocks. She has some others too. Shadow stones that are just gorgeous. So I'm going to start with the magenta color around the outer corners here. You can use, to re-wet your paints, I haven't put magnet on this one yet. It's scooting around. These are all magneted in, so they won't scoot around like that in your tin. Anyways, you can take a spray bottle, spritz water on it to re-wet your palette when you want to work with, you know, more than one color. Oops, I already lost my water. That's soaked in. So, anyways, just grab your color and kind of haphazardly just blotch it on there, because you want it to be stippled, I guess. Not perfect, because you're making, you know, clouds, a sky. Yeah, this would be really very hard to weed on a Cricut, but yeah. So I'm just basically laying down some color right now, and then we'll work on getting the other colors there too. Hi, Susan. I'm wetting the palette, which I should have done ahead of time. Oh, one thing I was going to do. See, I got ahead of myself. Hang on just a second, guys. I'm going to cut out my sun so that I don't have to deal with that, trying to worry about that. So here I'm going to probably about that big. Make a circle in the middle for me. I don't understand my Cricut either. I have my husband do it. I can't figure out. It's the Cricut is fine. It's the Design Space app is. Oh my gosh, I don't even know who designed that thing, but it's a beast. Anyways, I just drew a circle, and now I'm just exactoing the circle, and I'm going to leave this part on the rock. Isn't that cool, Elaine? Yes, it's a neat circle maker tool. It's space. It works better when it's sitting on a flat surface. But yeah, that's from Amazon. It was, I think, not very much either, like $13, $14. There is one on Facebook that goes around every now and then, and it's like over $100. Don't do that. Don't spend that much money on tools like that. I am not good at cutting with an X-Acto knife or drawing a straight line. Apparently. see if I can get this off here. I couldn't find my washi tape, so we're going to use this. I need a new blade too. There we go. Okay, so, you know, bottom line, we're just blocking out that space so that we can have a nice bright yellow sun, not have to fight with the greens and the colors that we're going to have around it. Okay, back to business. So now I'm going to bring some of the blue in. And I'm just kind of dropping it into putting some water back on the rock. You guys are all cricket. I have the Explore Air 2, and I kind of wish I would have gone with the little Joy for what I use it for, you know. I don't do big enough projects to warrant that big ol' granddaddy of a tool. This is so fun. I love this. Okay, so obviously I'm not doing it identical. I'm just kind of following a general idea. So I'm going to grab some purple. I don't see Miss Katie. I wasn't sure if she could come on tonight, so hopefully we see her in a bit. And then right around the edges of the sun or moon, I don't know what that is. See, there's stars in the sky, so I think it's a setting sun. I'm just going to put that glowing ring that goes around it a bit. So that'll get to drying. Some water here. Hello. Hi, Katie. I see her. You want to come on, or are you watching tonight? Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Sherry and Lonnie and Cindy and Lori and Katie. My partner in crime. All right, I'm going to come in with some green now. Building that kind of turquoisey color here. You want me to, you don't have to paint, Katie. You can just keep company, or you can hang out in the comments. It's nice to see you on. Hi, Phyllis. Now I'm using neons, so these are going to be, different than the rainbow color here, but I love the way neon pulls this together as well. All right, for the red, I'm actually going to go into another set that I have here of my own private stash and use some red out of here. So I have a nice deeper red. These neons will be available Friday to purchase, and then they'll be shipping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because it takes a while to wrap up these orders of paint. They're not just throw it in a bag and ship it. So it takes a little TLC and handling there. So I will be getting those. If you order them Friday, they will ship out on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then you guys should have them within 7 to 10 days, hopefully sooner. But the USPS right now is telling us to not promise anything for 2 weeks, but I'll say 7 days. So I'm just gonna pop some red in here. I'm gonna grab some kind of dark bluey purple for this dark part that's kind of gray brown over here, which I'm not digging. Hi, is it Sherry or Sherry? They will be available in my Etsy store, yes, on Friday. I can put them in there now, but you guys have to know that they're not leaving until Monday. They're all ready, but I got to package them. They have to be wrapped special for shipping. I love this. It's coming together pretty nicely. All right. Now I'm going to pull in some more blue. I'm going to pull some of this green back out of here and waft it up a little far. I'm just drawing some of it up with a damp brush so that there's not so much liquid on the rock. So what do you guys think about which tree? This one or this one? Okay, I have 2 for the woman. 3. Wow. Oh, 1 for non-face, 2 for tree. So right now it's tied. Nope, now we gotta, looks like we're going with the girl. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll do them both because I have one over here waiting for a transfer. I'll put the face on this one and I'll put the tree on this one. How's that? Then we can do both. This part goes pretty fast. Yeah, Joan, and that worked out pretty good, huh? Okay, so I like my sunset thing going. I think I'm going to add some orange or red to my magenta at the top. Probably orange. Just up in here to take it down a notch from the pink. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now we have to let this dry, and it's going to look like a hot mess when it's done. But I promise you, it's all going to come together. So that's going to take a few minutes. I'm going to turn the fan on. While that's drying, we will work on this face. So when that's dry, we're going to paint this yellow, and then we're going to splatter it with some white to get those stars in there. And then we'll add in some strategically placed stars as well, and some bling bling when we're done, obviously, because I am who I am, and that's what I do. So, like, I want to add some bigger stars. And I'll probably add more once the tree's on here. I do love that. Maybe I should have gone with the brown. Isn't that pretty right in there? It's like total galaxy. Did I mean to do the sun? Not yet. I want this to be dry because it'll travel in there. I will do it though. Hi, Kendra. It's 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, 8:30. How's that work? Am I saying that backwards? 7:30 Central. Anyways, we're here. I lost it. So I want to do this one here. I'm going to get some graphite paper. You know, you guys can use these pieces hundreds of times, so don't throw them away if you've only used them once. Keep them and reuse them. I do like to cut around mine though, because I don't like the black marks getting on my work, especially when I've already painted. Yeah, all that. What they're saying. 7:30, 6:30, 8:30. When I was a kid, the TV used to say, it might still, I just never get to watch it, but it used to say 7, or I was on Pacific, so it was like 9:30, 6:30 Pacific. That's how they would advertise it or something. So it was very confusing because New York time is always 3 or 4 hours ahead of us. I should, when you're using tape on your watercolors, you should put it on your clothes. I know, okay, that's a weird thing to say. Okay, hold on, let me show you. So de-sticky it a little bit. Take some of that tack off of it so that it doesn't ruin your painting or your paper or whatever it is you're using. So you can do it on jeans, t-shirt, cotton, whatever will give you that less tacky, but yet still, it's better to use washi tape, but still do the same thing. I just can't find mine. Right, so we're going to quickly do this business. I'm going to start down here. So I'm just doing the meat of it. And then we will paint it. I'm going to use ink. This is a dotting tool or stylus, depending on what you call it. And a brush. This is a teeny tiny dotting tool. Oh, I think Katie's waiting. Who's waiting? No, I don't know who. Oh, yeah. Yay. I think Kate's coming. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, you can use painter's tape. Just do the same thing to de-sticky it, you know, rub it on your, the green's better. But, hi, Katie.
Hello.
Hello. So tape it to your jeans or a tissue, something like that to get the sticky tacky off of it so you don't pull the color off of your art or tear your watercolor paper. Sorry, I was right mid-sentence there. How are you, Miss Katie?
I'm good. Sorry, I
Yay.
was getting a drink of water.
Wonderful. What are those? What is she doing? Can you see that over there? What is that?
I'm chalk painting.
Pretty.
I have to do some rock prep because all my rocks that I had prepped I've already finished. So
Oh, I like it. Those rocks are beautiful.
and I'm covering them up.
Mm-hmm. That's what we do. So, like I said, guys, I'm just tracing kind of the meat of it so that I can get business done here quickly with it, or at least try to.
No, Julie. It's not Friday night, and I am not a lush, even though I might seem like it.
Mm.
She asked if she said no pickle beer.
No. So now you guys, let's test and see if I'll be able to make this lady look like a lady when I go doing it.
Guess what I made for dinner tonight,
What did you
Wanda?
make? What?
The rotisserie chicken.
Yum. She makes the best rotisserie chicken rub. Spice rub, right?
Yep.
That's so
And then I
good.
put them in the air fryer.
Yep, it's very, very good. Okay, you got a big one here. Big one here.
I'm using chalk paint by Folk Art. All my little rocks like this, let me show you one that I've done. I chalk paint twice, and then I'll put a background color, and then I'll do like some lettering on it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. This is going to be cool. Let's see where we are with this one. Still wet. Almost dry. All right, I'm going to use some ink here.
Oh, chalk paint is one of the best bases for stuff like this. It works great with watercolor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. For this tree branches, I'm going to use a couple different brushes. Maybe. If I can find them. Sorry, guys. Hang on. There it is.
Well, Elaine, if you don't use a base, your colors are not going to be bright. You're going to end up having to put several layers to make it the color that you want it. And if you do a white chalk base color, your colors are going to be much more vivid. Unless you're working on a Santorini.
Bambi's asking what you thin your chalk paint with. Hers has waves.
Oh, I don't thin mine.
If you need to thin it, water is best with chalk paint because it's absolutely water based, and it water is the best way to thin it.
I don't know what brand you're using. I was using the Walmart brand, which was Waverly, and it was real thick on me, and I didn't like it about halfway through the jar. It was so thick I couldn't even spread it. So when I switched to the Folk Art, I haven't had an issue with it.
This is Dollar Brownie black ink.
Dollar Brownie. Don't you just want to say that in a country voice? Dollar Brownie.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
Hey, you wanted me to come on, so.
No, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Do you know how hard it is to keep talking by yourself for 2 hours? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. You have a pretty talkative bunch here, though.
Oh, yes. They keep me on my toes.
Joyce, you can try thinning it out and see what happens. I never tried that. I was just like, forget this stuff and bought something else because someone else was like, oh, this is what I use and it works great. So, and I think it's cheaper in the end than the Waverly.
Got a trim brush here.
Is everybody getting ready for Thanksgiving that celebrates?
Yep.
I know you're probably not, Wanda.
Yeah, we are. We celebrate. I
You
don't
are?
know. Yeah. We just don't do anything like big family stuff, you know. We don't really have
Yeah.
anybody. His father passed away, and then um pretty much everybody else is hours away, and then my family's in California, Oregon. So it's
So are
pretty
y'all
much
gonna
just
make a turkey?
no.
Oh.
Probably either buy turkey breasts and cook
Oh.
that, you know, just like but have the traditional turkey on the
Yeah. A
menu,
lot of
like
people just get a
stuffing.
breast.
Yeah, I get a little bah humbuggy. I lost my mom on Thanksgiving, so I'm getting better,
Aw.
but it's a tough one for me. And then last year, I don't know if y'all remember, I was on alive when my stepdad passed away. And that was a hard one. And it was yesterday was 1 year. So it's just a owie time of year, you know. But I mean, it's so much better with friends. It's some days go by and it's like, oh wow, I made it, you know. Didn't even didn't even think about it.
Well, we were kind of tired of turkey, so um we decided to do a brisket, and then my brother's wife was like, I've got to have turkey, so they're going to make a turkey, so we're going to have brisket and turkey.
Yum. Now I'm extremely jealous.
Yep. And then all the sides and fun stuff.
Yum. All right, here we get into the fun part of this is all these squiggly bits over here after we get the big branches on.
I love that background, Wanda.
Yay, thank you. Did you see the one I just did? It's not quite as done yet, so it looks kind of bare, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still really wet up there at the top though.
Yeah, I'll
I'm glad
probably
we have
do
this one.
one.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's all I was going to say is I'll probably do one, just not tonight.
Ooh, fun. Thank you. How flattering.
Well, you know I love rainbow too.
I know, it's my favorite. Oh yeah, Bambi says the ink is going on nicely. I so much prefer the ink. It's thin texture, lightweight, but super opaque and black, you know? It's like kaboom. It's real nice. Yeah, since I started using ink, I'm kind of favor it to acrylic. It's acrylic ink, so it can be mixed with paint too.
I got my gloves today, and let me tell you, them suckers are heavy.
Is
I
it the
went to
same
pick,
one?
yeah, I went to pick the
Mhm.
bag up, and I was like, whoa, that is some heavy gloves.
Yeah, I split the box with you last time, so you didn't feel the whole box.
No,
They're crazy.
those
It's
suckers
like a
are
brick.
heavy.
It's a brick.
They want to see the ink bottle.
Oh, my bad. Thank you.
Dollar brownie, y'all.
Thank you, Lonnie. Steel-toed gloves, Bambi says.
For reals. These suckers are so thick. I mean, they're almost reusable if you weren't going to be working with glue and stuff.
I have reused them sometimes when I just needed, you know, to do something and take them off and they haven't been, you know, messed up or anything.
These are them Venom chemical resistant gloves.
Yeah, those are the ones that I use.
And they are super duper thick. Like, I don't even know how to explain it to you. It's just, in comparison to this thing, there's no comparison. Like, you can even, like, almost see through that, these cheapy ones. And this sucker is thick. And for some reason, I noticed that my hands don't, my
They don't
hands
stick.
don't bother me in these for some reason. And these make my hands itch sometimes.
Yeah,
So
there's
I don't
something.
know. I don't know what the difference is. They're both nitrile, right?
Um, I don't know. Did you read that? I don't. Where'd I
Yeah,
put
it
my?
says nitrile gloves. Oh, shoot. It's falling off my table.
Pardon. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
they say
guys.
nitrile.
That was not a sick cough. I don't know what that was, like a dust or something. Okay, so up through here, if you guys want to see now I'm going to be putting all these little bits in here.
Yep, Bambi,
Mhm.
that's what I just said. The blue gloves make me itch for some reason. And those black ones don't. I don't know what the deal is. There has to be something in those blue gloves that bothers us.
Yeah, I do know that the blue gloves were not protecting my hands from the glue. And
Right.
I kept having re-injury here. I have such a bad scar now from that initial burn from the glue that it
Yeah.
just cracks and peels and cracks. This is the best it's looked though in over a year. The very best. My whole hand is better, except for this part. But it was a total disaster for a long time. I know you guys saw the band-aids for months. It's nice to not I still have to, you know, grab a band-aid every now and then, but it's not nice not to have to live in them.
You get them on Amazon, Diane.
I'll grab you guys a link. I'll pop it in the um yep, in the description of the event. I didn't add any links to this one because it's mainly to show you guys the paint and just have fun on a Wednesday night. Something to do.
Oh my gosh, guys, I have to tell y'all, it's killing me, but Friday is going to be so much fun.
Oh, do you want me to show them?
I don't know.
Oh, let me tell you, Katie, the word, I had an accident with it, so the word is gone. I am so sorry.
What?
I accidentally picked it up with my wet gloves and forgot. So the word just went bleh.
Oh, man.
It's fine. Okay, guys, ready? Look at that gorgeousness right there.
We're doing that Friday.
Yay.
It
It's
said
red.
hope.
Yeah, it had the beautiful word hope here. Gorgeous Katie hand lettering. You know her hand lettering is beautiful. Yeah. I'm sad that it's gone. And now I have to write something and that's a disaster. So,
Oh, I
but
can
this is
just save it and
beautiful.
I'll write something on it next time I'm there.
Okay, cool. Okay, right on.
Well, I'll just do the hope again.
Okay.
Yep, I
Yes,
did.
Deb says it's like a party dress. Yes, it is. Isn't that pretty? So nice. That's a good description.
We did a lot of experimenting the other day and
Holy moly. Talk
finally
about
we're
me.
successful.
I almost lost my mind. I was like, why can't I make it work? And then I go have my dinner and Katie's in here. She comes in there. Look. But that was perfect because I was frustrated. But you did such a good job. It's gorgeous. And I am
Thank
so
you. Thank
excited
you.
for the tutorial. So you can teach me.
If I can remember all the steps. There's quite a bit of steps because you got to put something on, cure it. Put something else on, cure it. Put something else on, cure it. Get
Yeah.
the inhibition layer off, so there's a lot of steps.
Yep.
And it's going to be something totally different, and some of y'all are not going to have everything y'all need to do it, but
Well,
you
if you
can get
guys
the stuff.
should we'll tell you now what you're gonna need, and then if you don't
Yeah.
have it, you could maybe get it by Friday. I don't know. The builder gel, which one did you go with?
uh I didn't do builder gel. I did Savvyland in
Oh,
black.
that's right. No, actually you did. Yeah. So the Savvyland black paint gel, I can't get to it right here. I'll show you what. It's in a pot like this, but
I
I'm
can
not
get
gonna
to
open.
mine.
There. Okay, thanks.
This is what the box looks like, and this is what the pot looks like.
Yeah. And then you're going to want some detail liner brushes, or you can use disposable eyeliner wands to get these details here,
Yeah.
because you use the black paint and then you kind of drag it onto the rock. And then that glitter it's just holographic, chunky, mixed glitter. It has like 3 different sizes of glitter mixed in there. It's a loose.
Yeah.
Um,
Any of your loose glitters like that, there's several brands out there.
And these came with, I gotta show you guys that too. Those came with this little tray right here. It's like a mixing tray to mix your UV paint, and then this holds your brushes. Isn't that
Oh,
the
they're going to
coolest
sell
thing?
out in 2.5
Oh my God,
seconds.
it's like $8. This tray, you get the tray, 2 brushes, some builder gel, right? You get all 6 pots of glitter and 6 deals of neon pigment powder, right? Hello. I had to buy it. I should have bought 10 of them. But you should be getting one, Katie. I sent you one.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it. I just got the gloves today. Okay, second coat of chalk paint is on. Who is Joe?
I missed this part right here. Who's what?
It says, okay, who is this Joe?
I don't know what we're talking about. Joe, Julie, who's what? Hi, Misty. Who's Joe? What do you mean?
When you scroll up, it says, okay, who is this Joe? And it's Julie that said it.
No, that's what I'm saying. What do you mean, Julie? Give me more information. Oh, who is this now? Okay, that still doesn't help. I'm sorry.
It's not a name, like I'm sure there's a name, but it's
Right.
not.
It's okay, give me 2 seconds, okay, guys? Just give me 2 seconds. Nope, actually I can't move. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know the name brand, but it might be. No, that's not even. It's a generic thing, you know?
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
will definitely. If you look under Builder Gel or Blossom Gel, this guy will come up, and then you'll see this in a set with this thing and some neon pigment. They saw me coming. They're like, we got this girl's number. Sorry, I need to stay focused so I can get this done because I still got another one to do. I might not do them both since this one's turning out so good, but I'll show you guys how to do the back stars and stuff. Or, I don't know, what do you guys think? You want me to do the other one too?
I liked the tree. I voted for the tree.
Yay.
Wonder if there's any other fun stuff I can show them. Oh, we used the. Let me get the box before I tell you. It wasn't the flakes. I have the flakes, but Wanda has the powder, the chameleon powder. That's what I used on top of the Savvyland gel.
It's the Let's
Yeah.
Resin
And
Intense Chameleon Powder. And it is the blue pot. This one here, I believe. Oh, that's the blue green. It's the blue purple. This one.
I don't know if my flakes will work, Wanda.
I think they will, but so it's this color, believe it or not. Yeah, that would work. It will just look a little different. It won't look as perfectly smooth, you know. It'll be smooth, but it won't be, the colors will be uneven. I don't know how to explain it. Let me show you here. So like here, can you see like the different color values in it?
Yeah.
So that has pink and purple and blue, right? So you
Yeah.
would see that speckled in here, but it would
Oh, cool.
still be chrome and smooth.
Okay,
Does
cool.
that make sense? Yeah, it's beautiful on. I did my dragon's eggs with the flakes,
Oh, yeah.
if
I
you
mean,
remember
it's
them.
just beautiful. I love this stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty. I'm trying to fill these in like they are here without going overboard. It's so easy to do too much on the tree, you know? But like, see how they're, okay, I think I'm gonna be done with this one.
Yes, you were exactly right, Bambi. It's a fancy word of saying they stirred in glitter into their
Mm.
resin.
Yep.
It's funny because a lot of these questions I see, I had the same questions and asked months ago or years ago. And I was like, what's the difference between suspended glitter and just adding glitter? And there's no difference. It's just a wording, maybe to sound more fancy or something.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Also, guys, you can use dragonfly glaze in your resin and it comes out beautiful and it takes very little. Just saying.
All right, going back to the other guy, I'm taking off the tape and we're going to paint in the sun. I just mixed some orange with the yellow so that it wouldn't be like neon. And that red
Here it is.
ring. Lori, here comes the sun. And
I totally had that song in my head too, Lori.
it's all right. Oops. Do-do-do-do-do. That's perfect. So this red ring that we painted around it, that works to your benefit when it pulls into the sun. So go with it.
Bambi, which glitter are you talking about? Like this one? The Craft Twinkles? I haven't tried mixing the Craft Twinkles and resin, but I'm sure it would work. I think you would get a better result with the dragonfly glaze, although the glitter wouldn't be as big.
I'm going on top of the dry paint now and adding some darker values in so we can get the cloud effects.
Look at you getting all fancy.
Oh, you're funny.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting all confused. I didn't say I was the brightest one in the bunch.
Oh, well, I missed the question. Jennifer saying the one I sent you and Wanda in the tiny pots, the super fine one. Do you know what that was in response to?
Yeah, I'm trying to locate those. They're somewhere in this room. I sound like Wanda now.
That was good.
They're somewhere here.
Oops, I just activated the wrong paint.
Oh no, these are jewels. They're not glitter.
Oh, but she did, I think she did send super fine glitter. Maybe I have that here.
Yeah, I don't have the glitter. But I can show you what I do have that would work too. For that particular purple rock. Something like this, but it doesn't have,
Yes.
well, I guess it does have some little pieces, but it doesn't have the real fine glitter in it. Now this does, but it's a different color. But any of these would work beautifully. Hi, Kathy.
Okay, I gotta let that dry a little bit too, guys. I'm looking for white gouache or matte white paint, like chalk paint, something that you can reactivate. If you have white, this is not what this in the watercolor palette. It's white, but it's not white opaque. It's the clear, what is it? The fluorescent clear, you know, like the secret message ink
Yeah,
paint. Yeah.
yeah.
Marvel. I murdered that. I'm looking for my white gouache, sorry.
You could also use something like this too.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
of this will work great for the little line.
Sorry for all that noise, guys. Uh-oh, Amy. Amy's saying we're freezing up on her. You may have to back out and come back in. Sometimes it's your service or maybe my service because I'm hosting the stream. So I have a full signal here. I'm not sure if you're moving around too, that will do it every time. Are you there, Katie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't, maybe it was me. So I'm going to take a little bit of gouache and water it down, which essentially makes it watercolor because gouache is water-based, works really, really well with watercolors as watercolors. And here I'm just going to now add back in some white cloud, like highlights. And then we're going to add some stars in a minute.
In a minute. I'm going to show y'all. I have a couple of Wanda's rocks that she did backgrounds on. And I'm going to show y'all how the dragonfly glaze works in the resin, what it looks like. So y'all can see what I'm talking about. Y'all have to excuse me. I talk in different voices. That's just me. I act silly a lot. Me and my husband are both goofy like that. So if you hear me doing that,
I
it's
think it's
just
cute.
me and my goofiness.
I think you're cute. I like it.
Okay, so for this one, let me pick out a glitter that'll look good on that. Green. Guess I'll go with green, gold, red for this one.
Okay, so that gouache that we just made, we watered down with our water with an old brush, fluffy thing. You could use a toothbrush, something a bit firmer. We're going to flick some stars down here. Okay, so you want to, you're going to be flicking it basically like that.
You just need a tiny amount.
Mm-hmm. I need some bigger drops though. I'll probably add those back in. There we go. Okay, so once you get your stars on, see how it just changes everything, like almost perfect, right? Now we got like the galaxy look going. And now when this dries, we can put our tree on. Lonnie Katie said, yes, she does use dragonfly glaze in resin. Do you know the ratio about? It's less than 10%, right? To keep it
Oh, it's
from,
just a little drop.
yeah.
And it does a real light glitter all over the rock. You see all the sparkles?
Oh, gosh. Oh, that's my rock. Hey, I
Yeah,
like that. Good
that's what I
job.
said. I had a couple of your rocks that I could practice on.
I was like, I remember that candy corn. Sorry.
Just a little tiny drop. That's all you need.
While that's drying, you're so awesome. Wait, what? Kathy, the first time I did the flicking, I flicked the wrong way. Hey, as long as you get there in the end, right? It's okay to flick the wrong way. Just means you had some freckles, some new freckles. That's funny. All right, so look, the neon paint that I made works on black. Look, isn't that pretty, Katie?
Beautiful.
I wanted to show you guys the, oh my gosh. Okay, hang on a minute. I'm going to show you guys the unicorn shimmer while the other one's drying. Look how beautiful these are. You get 5 colors in this one. And there's gold shimmer. Hello, sorry. Goodness. Okay, so you get gold shimmer. And these are like interference paint. So pretty. Blue shimmer.
The shimmers are awesome, y'all.
Green shimmer.
Unicorn shimmer.
I know. So cool, so fun. Lilac shimmer. I want it unicorn shimmer. Aw, Thanks, Deanie. Isn't that pretty? I do love these a lot. I'm definitely going to be making more paint because I know these are going to be gone over the weekend. So it takes me about 10 days to get it together, between mixing and it drying. So in another 2 weeks, I'll have more for you guys. And then this is red shimmer.
Friday. They'll be on sale Friday. They're not available yet, Cindy.
I can put the link in there if you guys understand that I'm not sending anything until Monday, and I reserve the right to not get it out until Wednesday even. Not that I don't have it, I have it here ready, but it takes a while to package. Each one of these little paints is wrapped. So just so you guys know, it's not like just thrown in a can and sent to you. Each one is wrapped with a label on it. Everything is labeled. So it's professional.
It's all wrapped with love.
Yes. So, but you can't wrap them until they're ordered because you just don't want them to sit in wrappers forever, It really dries them and cracks them. So you wrap them right when they're going. But I do
Really,
love them.
look at what my glue did, or my shimmer did.
Oh my gosh, Cindy. What time on
Why?
Friday? I can, oh, sorry, Katie.
That's okay. It
I
just
don't
takes
know
a
what
tiny
time.
bit.
I'm not sure what time on Friday, but what is this, Wednesday? Let's say.
Y'all are just gonna have to keep
I
refreshing.
don't even know. I don't know my schedule.
Refresh until it pops up on there. First come, first serve.
How long do they last, as in like in the pot? These? Forever. I've never finished a watercolor in my life. Have you? I don't know. I mean, if you used it on everything all the time, I can imagine you could maybe go through it in a couple of years. But it's seriously a lot of pigment and paint. It's 2 to 3 grams of pigment per pot here. These are huge. These are the half pans. These are the quarter pans, but believe it or not, it's the same amount of pigment, but this pigment is super duper condensed, like microfine, but lots of it. So they weigh the same, even though it's half the size, if that makes sense. Okay. Pigments are weird. They weigh different things. Like, I'll show you an example. Perfect example. Maybe.
Here's the final product, all totally sealed.
Well, you might not be able to see through these jars, but oh, that's gorgeous.
You can't, I mean, it looks better in person, but it's all sparkly.
Yeah, I could see it. So I don't know if you guys can see the lines in these jars. These are unopened. See, seal's not broken. Can you see the lines in the jars? So this one is like, let me see if you can see it, like right there. And it's visually way below. This one's a lot less than in what's in this one, but they weigh the same. If you put them on the scale, they're identical. Pigments just way different. Like black is super heavy, 2 or 3 times the weight of other pigment. Okay, so I think we're dry over here and I can transfer the tree. So I'm going to reuse this from our hippie peace sign. I loved that tutorial. That was so much fun.
That was a
It's
fun
cute.
tutorial.
Mhm.
Anything hippie,
Yes.
I'm on it.
Okay.
Deanie, how did you miss it? I did too.
Maybe she had to leave for a second. Oh,
Oh, potty break, probably.
yeah, I got those.
Your phone is farting.
Oh, let me turn it off. Julie, stop. It's Julie. Oh, yeah. Okay. So these, she was asking about price. This 5-piece set is $25, and this set is $40. 12 here, and you get 5 here. I'm also going to have a micro mini set, which I didn't show you guys. Let me grab them real quick. Where did I put them?
Just for you, Deanie, I'll do one more.
This micro mini set here. I flipped one out earlier. I don't know where it went, but there are 12 in here too. Sorry. So you get 12 colors here, and this is 30. So 30, 40, and 25. This one will come with a brush. This one's not going in the shop on Friday because I don't have the brush yet. So as soon as the brushes come for this, you'll get a brush and the paint. It's like a starter set to learn, how to use it. It'll be a water brush similar to this. So as soon as I get those brushes, this one will be in the shop too. So that one's
Okay,
30.
Deanie, are you watching?
Hopefully that answered your question. Deanie, watch Katie.
Okay, I have my little medicine cup here. Out of my way, Rock. I'm just going to put enough resin in the cup just to fill the bottom. Because I'm just covering the top of this rock. And I'm going to use the green, gold, red shift and the dragonfly glaze. And you need very, very little. It just takes a tiny bit like that for the amount I'm using. And even when you use quite a bit more, it still doesn't take much of this. It goes a long way. And you just stir it up real good.
Yes, I'm reusing tape, guys. I'm not being cheap. I just can't stand the waste. All right, now I'm tracing on the tree here. I think I got it all crooked. I did. You guys were just going to let me do that, weren't you?
Sorry, I was busy over here.
It's okay.
Get out of there.
It probably doesn't even matter. I probably could have straightened it out, but yeah.
Basically, all of those sparkles when it comes out, all the little flashy lights, it's hard to show glitter on the camera, but you can see it kind of sparkling. All those sparkles are all through the resin. And there's
beautiful.
different colors.
Yeah, dragonfly glaze
So
has a lot.
I think I have, there's 4, right? I think there's 4 colors. There might be one I'm missing, I don't know. Oh, there's full spectrum. That's the one that these are the 4 that I have, and then I have a full spectrum that's all the colors.
Yeah, full spectrum is like holographic. you know, like holographic glitter, you know, how it's
Yeah,
got
here's the full spectrum,
rainbow. Yeah.
and it looks
Mm,
like
yeah.
all of that. But it just takes a little bitty drop and mix it up, put it on your rock, and bam, you have suspended glitter.
So beautiful.
Oh, the brand of resin I use, the J. Diction UV resin, it requires a light to activate if you don't have UV resin already.
Ooh, Phyllis has 8 dragonfly colors.
Oh
How
man,
lucky. They don't even have
whoa,
that many out anymore, so go girl.
man, I feel slighted.
I know.
This is all you can get here, is what I have. Dang it. What a bummer.
This tree is wicked busy. Why did I pick such a crazy tree? So I'm just trying to, again, get the meat of the branches and then I'll go nuts with a smaller brush.
The blue shows up better on this one, the glitter.
Oh, yeah. Do you have your flash on?
No, it doesn't let me do flash on when we're on both
Oh,
on.
that's right. That's right. Darn it. Oh, wait. On the bottom of yours, isn't there a lightning bolt?
Nope,
Oh, sorry, me.
no lightning bolt. Yeah, for some reason they take it off. It's weird.
Hi, Diane and Kathleen. Kathleen wants to know what you're going to paint on them. Katie?
These Wanda did. She just blended acrylics, right?
No, I think she wants to know what you're going to paint on top. Like, what are you painting on those backgrounds? Are you doing words or?
Yeah. Stuff like this, generally. I'm doing more Christmas stuff right now because of the holidays, but yeah, I'll, either kindness words or something holiday. Like this one will probably be something about snow.
Like, yeah, maybe say let it snow.
And this one,
How original of me.
yeah, let it snow. There you go. This one I already sprayed it, so it looks kind of dingy right now, but once I resin, the shine will come back. But I was doing nail foil, just one little snowflake, and I just put a little bit of glue and then cured it and then put this one snowflake on there.
Those are so
Um,
cool. So did you cut
I
out the
don't
snowflakes or did you just press them in there?
I just pressed it in there, and if some of the snowflake from another snowflake got on there, just a little alcohol takes it off.
That's right.
And then this little bubble thing will go away when you resin it. You won't even see that raised part. Now this one, I was talking to someone on Messenger, and right now I can't remember who it was, but they said that they had tried the sticker, so I tried it. And basically, you put the glue on the foil, cure
Yeah.
it, and then stick it on your rock.
Yeah.
I didn't have very good luck with it. I like doing it my way better and just using the alcohol. This was the one I did that way, and the edges didn't want to go down, whereas this is down perfectly. So
I investigated
I
that
don't
and that's
know.
called reverse foiling. And I tried it myself and I cannot make it work either. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Maybe
don't
it's a
I
certain
I don't get
foil.
it.
Yeah, I know a couple of people have been successful with it, but not me.
I think the point is to not cure it very much, like just cure it a little bit so that it's not gooey,
Yeah,
like a real gooey, and then stick it on your rock and then cure it through the foil, I think.
yeah. You know, I
Right?
did, yeah, I did do it on a tutorial a long, 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 long time ago, and I believe it was a dragon's egg because I was going around something, so I
Mm-hmm.
wanted specific parts of the foil. And it did work on that one, but I remember that was a thicker foil, you know?
Yeah.
Woo, hello, have some ink.
Thanks, Bambi. All I do really is I find a font that I like and I'll Google the words, like, say, I want to write like warm wishes. I put warm wishes and calligraphy, and then it pops up on Google all these different fonts. And then I just um, freehand the word the way that they do it. Of course, it's not perfect, you know. Me and freehanding are not great friends yet, but it's
Yes,
close.
you are doing great. What are you talking about, man?
I'm doing better. I'm doing better. But I just can't bust out like an intense picture. Like I have to keep it simple. I'm just not a drawer, like a sketcher or whatever.
Give me neither. I just had to trace a tree for Pete's sake. Bless y'all if you can do it. I have tried to do trees.
I did
It's
one and I'll show it to you. I freehanded it. I wasn't real crazy about it, but I liked the background, so
oh, that's gorgeous. Yes, that's alcohol ink. Beautiful.
yep. Yep. And then I think this is color shift down here. I'm pretty sure this is color shift. Wendy, that is Wanda's handmade neon watercolor.
What are we talking about?
Your paint on your rock.
Oh, yes.
She asked if
Thank
it was alcohol ink.
is this guy.
It'll be going into the shop on Friday. Thanks, Allison. See, here's another font I looked up and just copied it. I have fun.
You are so, that is beautiful.
I use a gel pen and a Posca pen, mostly.
This is like a puzzle. I'm trying to
Yeah,
find them. Holy
it
moly,
sure
guys.
looks like it.
Yeah, this is gonna be not good.
This is going to be like finish it later offline.
Maybe.
Sometimes I do lettering after resin if it's chunky. However, this one right here, I had extreme glitter on and I was able to write over the top of that. This is champagne extreme glitter on top of cranberry wine. And this one had gold enchanted over the top. So I was able to write on top of that. Because it's like, it kind of puts that glue, Mod Podgey. Like you could even do Mod Podge, but I've tried Mod Podge. It doesn't work quite the same as the extreme glitter and the enchanted, but yes, we live about 40 minutes apart. 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah. It's super awesome. Your piece on Earth Rock is so smooth, Jennifer says.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could send it to you. I totally would.
Oh, I'm so frustrated with our mail service right now. And the cost of things to go out of country it's nonsense. It makes no sense to me why it would cost that much.
Yeah, this one little rock would end up costing like, what, $29 to send it?
Yep, 4 pounds and under, unless it's a flat envelope. 4 pounds and under, 29 to start. Now that's if you go flat rate. If you go your own packaging, you might as well. It's 49. It's just it's wrong. I don't like it. Let's see here. This goes this
Yeah,
way.
that's why Shelly has trouble shipping rocks to out of the United States, because first of all, you can only send 20 pounds, and 20 pounds of rocks costs a lot. It was like, what, 93? Isn't that what you said, Wanda?
Yeah. Yep. That was what it started at. I mean, I don't even know
That's what
what.
it starts at. So it's that plus the rocks. And I mean, that's just a huge amount of money to spend just to get 20 pounds of Santorinis.
Yeah.
Yes, Phyllis, I love the holographic illusions. I don't have the whole line, but I'll show you my favorite holographic illusion is the crystal ball. I
Oh,
love this one so much.
that's gorgeous.
And I use a lot of glitterific, even though people hate glitterific because it's thick. I put it on with my finger and I love it. Here's my other favorite, Fairy Peak.
Oh, yay. That's like champagne. It's so pretty.
Yep, the
This is
Fairy
turning
Peak.
out
I
okay.
think the rest. Jennifer, it's too bad you don't live close to the border, because some Canadian people
Yeah, the post is
get their
not.
stuff shipped to like a mail place, and then they just go across the border and pick it up. Is there anything else y'all want to know while I'm on.
Sorry, I'm totally concentrating.
No, it's okay. I'm just seeing if they have any questions or
Thank you.
she's busting it out.
I think the main thing is you just have to stop worrying about it. You know what I mean? Just flow with it. It's a tree.
Good night, Julie.
Good night, Julie. Thank you.
Good night, Lonnie.
Night, Lonnie. Sorry. I'm like a, what's that, mockingbird? Almost done.
Now, what are you going to do after you get done with that part?
I think it's done.
Oh, okay. I'm so used to you adding bling bling and all that.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. I was gonna add some stars and yeah, I wanted to touch up the stars in the back.
Hi, Niecy. I was just working on prep. I was out of rocks, Helen. I usually prep a bunch of rocks with chalk paint and then I'll color some of them different colors and then they're ready to go when I need to start a rock.
Yeah, let's put some bling. What do we want? Do we want glitter or do we, ooh, no, we don't. We want, I know we want, maybe, if it'll work.
I can play with some of Wanda's. Wanda, look. My cat's eye magnets are attaching to your watercolor tin.
You're magnetic. So this is the gold interference. I'm just kind of, like a marble, putting like lightning, you know what I mean? Not lightning, but the like cracks that go through marble, kind of that look.
Yeah. Get out my water brush. My watercolor brush. Oh my gosh, Yvonne's making fudge.
Oh, yum.
I asked Mom if we could make brittle this year, and she said yes. So we're
Oh,
gonna make some brittle.
that's it. I don't know why I haven't met your mom yet, but we're buds
Oh,
and
Mom's all about cooking and feeding people.
well then. All right. Look at that. That looks pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks, Allison. Thanks, guys. Should we put some rhinestones on there, guys?
You and
I
your
stuck
rhinestones.
I stuck my hand in my tree ink. Goodness.
That's something I would do.
I'm gonna have to make my ground bigger down here.
I don't know what we're gonna do, Jennifer. I kind of putting my mom in charge of that.
For dinner? Or what? Wait, what are we talking about? Christmas dinner?
She asked if I do microwave brittle, and I said I'm not sure. I just told Mom I wanted to do brittle this year, and she said okay.
Ooh. Do you guys do different flavors or is it peanut butter?
I think we're gonna make pecan
Oh, yes.
because
You
she
know,
has pecan trees, so she has pecans built up.
oh, mm. Yes. The colors Katie's using right now are yep, it's the same paint. Those were my demo paints.
Yeah, I
So they
stole her
were,
samples.
so they weren't full pans, you know what I mean? They're like half fulls. These ones are filled over the top.
Oh yeah, mine were just her practice ones.
Yeah. She got my demo tape. I like that laugh. So, though I'm not good at this, what do you think about doing like some what would that be? Bark texture on the tree? Like along one side of it, like it's a shadow or I mean highlight like from the moon, like
Yeah, I used some like gold or of course I say it right. That's how you say pecan. Pecan.
pecan. Pecan pie.
No.
I didn't like that, so I took it back.
No, we don't say pecan.
Pecan pie. I'm gonna just do some of the tops of some of these branches, so the it's funny because the sun's coming behind it. That doesn't make any sense. My light source is off. Well, you know.
Nope, no foils tonight, Lorraine.
Can you believe it?
I did show some foils that I did, but I didn't actually do them.
So this is the the gold color in the palette that I'm just doing little branch highlights with.
In the unicorn shimmer?
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
Yep.
Good answer.
It looks really bright, like as if it's paint, like regular
I
paint, like
know.
acrylic.
Mhm. See, watch. Disappears. There it is. Disappear. There it is. I love interference paint because that's why it's called that. It interferes with the light source, but it's actually a transparent paint. It's a transparent pigment.
No, it's not alcohol ink. It's Wanda's homemade paints.
Hi, Helen.
But it's funny that everybody thinks it's alcohol inks. You go,
They're bright.
Wanda.
They're bright. My neons are very bright, like alcohol ink. All right, so I am done, guys. That's all I got. I don't know. I think 2 trees is not a bad deal for one night. So we got this one.
Nope.
So let's take a vote. Which one do we like more?
They're equally impressive.
Oh, look at you, Miss Safe. They are pretty dang cool though, huh? Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with myself. No, just kidding, guys. So don't forget, super important here. Are you listening, everyone? Friday. Friday, the paint is going into the shop. There's a limited amount right now. $40, 25 for the interference. Okay. I believe there's going to be about 20 of each available Friday. I will put them in there Friday by 9 a.m. So that's 9 a.m. Central. So wherever you're at, figure it out because 9 a.m. Central is not the same, as 9 a.m. Eastern. Just saying. Hopefully that helps. I don't know. That way I will set my alarm and I will hit activate right at 9 o'clock. How's that? That way it's fair, and that's about as fair as I can make it. And then remember, Friday, it's like a pre-sale day. So Friday is your order day. They will go out between Monday and Wednesday, actually being shipped. All right. Thank you guys so very, very, very much for hanging out tonight and watching the trees come to life. And thanks, Katie, for joining in. And look at that
Yep.
beautiful rock you're doing there. It's gorgeous. Is
Now,
it going to be a wood background?
yeah, probably. But being that I'm doing it on chalk paint, I had to do 2 coats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because chalk paint kind of sucks in the color a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
It's not like on Santorini.
So bright and vivid, though. It's beautiful.
Yep.
But I'm biased, so. Do you want to hang out or are we done?
No, I think we're done.
Okay. Good night, everyone. Happy Wednesday. See you on Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.